Finesse, Trap, Six God, Chapter 2. This title I would call Audio Blast Record Finesse by the Grease, Hair Grease, Wave Grease. Now the Audio Blast was kind of like this six guy like rocket launcher. Had about 12 chambers, 12 pistons, where you can finesse like the Holy Ghost into the Holy Grail. And the more I thought about it, like the more I finesse the game for what I want, it's kind of like being a six guy, but you got like 9 lives that grows into other lives. The more you protect lives and the more you take away from the game, the more you lose lives. So I thought to myself, real in-depth thoughts about something I created from scratch. Something that had value or meaning to me like nobody else. Something that made me think real hard, kind of just like about scraping up all the times I had to finesse the game for what I needed to like clarify my frequency. It's just kind of like, it ain't like being pushed off the top or king of the hill. It's more like you just finesse it to like body build like strength and character. The character, he always came back like some type superhero, super villain, whatever it may be. But whoever knocked off a character, you know they took a L. The knockoff for a boss, it probably would have ventured off into some like wonder world of like a boss fight spiritually. When you knock off a boss, it tracks like vibrations, or may I say, like welded tear jerkers of like ammunition. Tears could somewhat be ammunition if violent enough. I mean, to push off the rain as a finesse trap six guy, most people would use snow stars as a way of like cleaving the game. You could like shovel, like to his own permitted use as a permit to finesse, like work, finesse a lot of people that you were one place doing one thing when maybe you were at work, but to actually finesse like where the work compensatory went, whether it be like a work scholarship or just some type of degree that says, hey, I can get some work done for you. What can I offer you of my service that permits growth? And a finesse like growth, it's kind of like a Libra scale. Libra scale, it does present growth, but in like what type of finesse of a God would God finesse with a Libra scale? Probably like the mind to the hand, or the heart to the feet, or the private to the tears. Just like ovals on the body. So where would you be going? Would you be going to the top of the oval? Or would you be in like this concentrated like degree over and beyond yourself that finesse like money is a way of looking from top to bottom? It was a thought out loud without saying nothing that said, hey, you know what? I can finesse anybody to work for me. So if it kind of like worked for me, you know what? Somewhere in there it works itself out in the long run. Looking at the legacy you left behind. It's how like premature death to the ones that fell by the wayside, but still to land back on top somehow. How did it actually finesse the game? What was so different about your finesse after you trapped as a sixth god and died as a sixth god? What was so different about like your time, present, past, and future all mixed up into just like one big organic globule bubble of like this bouquet that led to like this omniscient, teary-eyed walls that just sat there so long to start talking to you. And I finessed the talk of the walls over like 40 years. And somewhere in there it's just saying, come back. Keep calling, come back, man. Keep calling, come back. We need some more of that product. And the product is nothing illegal. It's just how you resurface or surface back to the trap of the finesse. Because everybody finesses somebody for something. And then it hits the surface. And then somehow it all resurfaces. But even still, after it resurfaces, what was like reforged is a cast or a model made anew. Now, the new things in life were to be cherished. They were to be treasured like they were there and never going away. You had to make like treasurement out of like dignity. Something to walk away from with pride, with your head held high. I mean, like Whitney used to say, just don't take away my dignity. Don't finesse me out of something that you can't take. Because at some point in life, I'm pretty sure the game explains how it finesses you. But at the same time, even the most difficult finesse has to resurface at some point. And you had some type evidence or like a valid argument or maybe just validation by what we call the legal system. As many years you've been in the system, you tell me you're not a validated character of like spiritual boxes of like treasure boxes of like the sands of time. Very biblically speaking, I know my sheets. As long as I'm plugging away at the books, you can't stop. Like a post-traumatic senior secondary vibration that elevates your beauty. Like the original vibration or frequency would be your diploma right there. Somewhere the diploma beautifies you and perfects you. But still, even being the most beautiful or perfected collective piece, they still seem to like throw shades your way and want to darken your light. But even on the darkest day, even the darkest page in my days of just like homework, you kind of just finesse it for that beautifier of a hypercosmic period timetable of like what we would call just finessing for the graduation diploma, the beautifier.